standing there watching him, and you didn't hear it, you know? And, you know, they tried to play it off like, well, we just thought he was playing, you know, swimming and stuff like that. And I can remember the sheriff asking, do you know how to swim? And I said, no, sir. And they were like, okay, this fucking sucks. You know, there's no way that this is legitimate. And I can remember the sheriff in Alabama talking to my dad and saying, there better not be anything that happens to him. And he said, because I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, you're going to go to jail. I don't care. He said, I'll make sure of it.
So they had a sense, but they didn't know, they didn't have enough of what they thought of as evidence to be able to do anything.
That's exactly right.
And that was the case with Samantha as well?
Yes.
And your dad wouldn't let them talk to you?
What's that?
And your dad wouldn't let the police officers talk to you? So
right.
That also seems weird.
Block that, he did. Huh?
It seems weird. I mean, I know in Canada is a bit different, like, in terms of, you know, there would have been folks from Child Protection Services there, and they would have gotten you away from your adoptive fathers to talk to you. You wouldn't have gone through that sort of horror in Canada. I'm really sad that's what occurred.
At one point, CPS did take me, so I got into the foster care system, and ultimately, I'm just gonna. I was ungovernable, incorrigible, as at that point in my life. If you said something to me, you know, I didn't necessarily. I didn't care who you were. I wasn't necessarily going to do that, and I might just hit you. You know, because that was just my response to life at that point. So eventually I made my way right back to that house. So I can tell you that throughout the process of trying to work with me, Jane Goodall was one of the people that worked with me. So I know that she is still alive. I think she's still alive. I think she's 91 now.
Yeah.
And she might recall having worked with me, because I would have been one of the strangest cases she ever had. Because at around that time frame, I had made the decision that I would no longer let anybody get within arm's reach of me. And if they did, I'd fight for my life. So, you know, people had to stay away from me. I could talk. I mean, I wasn't like a feral animal, but I just would not allow people within my personal space anymore. And because of her work, you know, with apes and everything, with gorillas, you know, they kind of reached out to her to make contact with me to see if they could help me.
Yeah. And did you talk to Jane Goodall at all about what you'd experienced getting trafficked? I know when you and I spoke by email, messenger, you said was from during about 1978 to 1986 is what you remembered, 9 to 13, but you're not sure it could have been as early as 6 or 7 years old.
Right. I don't really start remembering what was going on until about 10 or 11. And I just know that it happened before that. I can remember being sexually assaulted by family. That's some of my very first memories. So, but as far as taking me to other places and these parties and whatnot, I know that sort of thing was happening, but I just don't have a good enough recollection to really piece together much of a story.
So whether you were 6 or 7 years old or 10 or 11 years old with the parties? When you
Right.
Okay.
I know family was assaulting me, and then friends of family were assaulting me as early as 6 or 7. I know that. Some of my very first memories are of being assaulted. But as far as taking me to places to make money at these parties, I don't have a clear recollection. It may have happened as early as the first sexual assaults that were happening with family. But I don't have a clear recollection if that was going on to that scale at that time, but do have a recollection from about 10 or 11.
Okay. So, how much...
I know
No, no.